Hello there everyone, Ashnflash here. Welcome back to another CMF series. With Avengers Endgame still shattering box office records, I thought it would be the perfect time to release my Stan Lee Cameos CMF series. And this series will cover all of his cameos from all 22 of the Marvel Studios films released to date, which is from Iron Man all the way up until Avengers Endgame from this year. But anyways, without further ado, let's hop into this. Of course, this isn't Stan Lee's first on-screen appearance, but it was his first cameo in the MCU. Here he is from 2008's Iron Man, where Tony Stark mistakes him as Hugh Hefner. His outfit is supposed to be Hugh Hefner's iconic red robe, which he poses in for Time magazine. Anyways, the figure uses the 12th Doctor's hair in white, which you'll see used throughout the entire series. I thought about including the pipe he had in the scene, but LEGO's never included something like that before, so I opted out of it. Next we have his cameo from 2008's The Incredible Hulk. Here is his cameo as the guy from Milwaukee that drank one of the bottles that gave him gamma sickness. Here he is, he's got a shocked expression while holding onto a bottle piece in trans light green with the label of the bottle printed on it. From 2010's Iron Man 2 we have Stan Lee from the start of the film, where he is dressed to look like and is called Larry King, which I'm sure that reference is going over a lot of people's heads today. Anyways, his outfit is really different with his bright colors and such, and while it doesn't make too much sense given how short the scene was and that it didn't actually appear, I actually gave him a microphone piece as an accessory. In 2011 we got Thor the First Thor, and in this movie he's actually the truck driver that has a cable at the back of his truck that is wrapped around Thor's hammer in an attempt to lift it up. This Stan uses a baseball cap in dark blue. I was gonna give him some car keys for his pickup truck, but I knew that the keys would be an accessory in a later cameo, so I decided to give him Mjolnir because it's a funny little reference to when he lifts Thor's hammer in LEGO Marvel Avengers the video game. Later that year in 2011 we have Captain America the First Avenger. In this he plays a military general or some other high-ranked officer. Anyways, he's sitting in a crowd where Captain America was being honored and was supposed to be given an award. He uses the newer police officer hat piece in brown with some printing on it. His facial expression is supposed to be him confused as to the person coming out on stage. In 2012 we got what is probably my favorite MCU film still to this day, The Avengers. This unprecedented crossover was incredible, and while Stan Lee actually filmed 2 cameos for the movie, I based this figure off the one at the end of the film where he's being interviewed by a news reporter about the Avengers' actions in New York. In the short scene, he's seen playing chess, and I decided to give him a king piece, which I thought would be a cool inclusion given the fact that Jack Kirby is considered the king of comics. Both he and Stan Lee are the people responsible for all the Marvel characters that we know and love today. Following the huge success of the Avengers, Iron Man 3 was released 1 year later in 2013. In this movie, he was a judge at a beauty pageant and is seen giving a contestant a scorecard with a 10 on it. This is just a 2x2 tile with some printing. This is actually a good opportunity for me to plug my Instagram that I actually post teases and such about my upcoming projects on. If you want to help contribute some ideas and such and get some teases of what's to come on the channel, head over there and check me out. Anyways, this next figure is pretty wacky. It's his cameo from 2013's Thor the Dark Thor, where he is in the same facility as Eric Selvig. When Selvig is done his presentation on the Convergence, Stan Lee asks for his shoe back because Selvig was using it as a part of his demonstration. So his minifigure has one dual molded leg to represent one shoe, and on the other leg there's just some sock printing. His accessory is a Scrabble piece with an A for the Avengers printed on a 1x1 flat tile piece. Next we have his cameo from 2014's Captain America the Winter Soldier. He's here in his security guard outfit from the time that he worked at the Smithsonian. He's here using the newer police hat in black, and his accessory is a new shield piece meant to be Captain America's original shield he had prior to the vibranium one. The next figure is his cameo from 2014's Guardians of the Galaxy. This intergalactic version of Stan Lee is pretty simplistic but iconic for some reason. I Out of all the cameos, Funko has only ever made 3, and this is one of them. Anyways, he's got a new pair of space glasses on there. Then in 2015, we saw the sequel for the first Avengers movie with Avengers Age of Ultron. During the going away party that they had for Thor, a bunch of retired veterans attended, and Thor pours a drink that has been aging for 1,000 years. And it's a little too much for Stan Lee to handle. Anyways, Stan Lee here has a new shot glass piece that I will have a ton of use for in the future. And I couldn't include the printing on his hat because LEGO would never write World War II on anything, so I figured I'd exclude it too. Fast forward a few months to the first Ant-Man, where Stan doesn't even say a word, but regardless, he's a bartender at the end of the movie while Louise is rambling on and telling a story. I figured I'd give him a mop accessory for cleaning up spills and such at the bar. In 2016, we saw Captain America Civil War kicking off Phase 3. His cameo as the FedEx delivery person is one of Robert Downey Jr.'s favorite memories of Stan Lee. And anyways, he comes with the baseball cap piece in black with the FedEx logo printed on it, and he has a small parcel build for Tony Stank, similar to the design of the LEGO sets we get in minifigure scale, which is just a 1x2 flat tile on a 1x2 tile. Next up, we've got 2016's Doctor Strange. Here he is in one of his more unique outfits that he has in the series. He's got a beret piece turned forward in light gray, and on the bus that Mordo and Doctor Strange crash into, Stan Lee is reading a book entitled The Doors of Perception, which this is just the book piece in a new color with a white 1x2 tile on the inside. The picture I'm using isn't actually him from the movie, but it's from a behind the scenes picture that was taken, but it gives a better look at the outfit. 2017 was a busy year for Marvel Studios, starting off with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. This is probably the most important cameo and probably my personal favorite. We see Stan Lee talking to some Watchers in space. This scene is hinting to the fact that he has been a Watcher informant the entire time in the MCU and has been keeping the Watchers up to date with all the previous events in the MCU. He's got the Sandy Cheeks dome piece that goes around his normal hairpiece, and the printing and such on his outfit is pretty cool and unique. Next, we saw Spider-Man Homecoming in 2017, and I might get in some hot water for this, but I actually chose to make Stan Lee from a teaser that was put out during the marketing for the movie. While I think that his cameo in the actual movie is pretty funny, his outfit is just so plain and he's just wearing a white shirt. We only see the upper part of his torso anyways. At least here he's got a unique colored vest on, so I'm pretty happy with my decision to include this version over the other one. And the third movie for 2017 was Thor the Third Thor. When Thor is taken prisoner, he meets Stan Lee, the torturer slash haircutter, and he uses the regular robot arm, but at the end of it, it actually has a new claw hand to cut off prisoners' hair, and he also comes with a new neck attachment piece. In Black Panther from 2018, Stan Lee takes all the chips from Ross when T'Challa walks away from the table. So his accessory I decided to give him is a flat 1x1 round tile with some printing on it to represent a poker chip. We then of course had Avengers Infinity War that year, and in that movie he was a bus driver on Peter Parker's school trip. I decided to give him the new backpack piece in blue, which Peter Parker left behind on the bus when he went to go help Tony and the Wizard. In 2018, we got Ant-Man and the Wasp, and Stan Lee got caught in the crossfire of Wasp's shrinking discs. With his car shrinking down, he drops his keys on the floor, so he comes with a new car key piece that fits into a minifigure's hand. From Captain Marvel this year, we got Stan Lee on the train that Carol was chasing the Skrull on. The accessory he comes with is a 2x2 tile in red with the script cover from Mallrats that he's reading. For whatever reason, they didn't de-age him for this movie, so I figured to shake things up a bit, I'd actually do that myself and make it more accurate to the Stan Lee from the 90s. I based this look off his cameo from Mallrats, so he's got a new glasses color and has a beard. And the hairpiece he has is light gray with some white printed on the bottom. And lastly, the 22nd movie is Avengers Endgame, and Stan Lee's cameo in that was him being de-aged and him driving by the army base in the 1960s. I think the outfit he wears there was actually based off the picture here from the 60s, and I gave him Shaggy's hairpiece in black with some light gray on the sides. Unfortunately for these last two cameos, there's no official pictures yet for them, so I couldn't include them in the video, so this is all that I've got. But anyways everyone, that is it for the series, and if you hadn't noticed what the background is that I've been showing all the minifigures on, I'm actually basing this off of the golden Stan Lee Funko Pop packaging, which actually has his signature on the front of the box. Anyways, the packaging on the box has some characters and some comics in black and white and in different shades of gray, so I decided to do the same thing with some of the figures that I've made over the past few series. Anyways, I'm really happy with the way that the packaging turned out, and it's probably my favorite packaging that I've ever designed so far for any series. But that's all that I've got to say about this series. It's been in the works for a while, and I think that this is a nice little way to honor Stan Lee and his long and impressive body of work. The MCU would be nothing, and we wouldn't have any Lego sets or anything, and I wouldn't be drawing this in the first place if it wasn't for him and Jack Kirby. I hope that you all enjoyed the series. Let me know down below which cameo and figure was your favorite. I hope that you all have a great day, and I will see you all in the next one.